Okay, where should I start? If you don't know yet, growing up in Malaysia, especially in Johor, Singapore is a natural next step. Fantastic exchange rate, good career progression, and a competitive work environment. It all makes sense in your early 20s. Everyone has a Singapore dream. So did I. Over 10 years, I got a good taste of it. But somewhere along the way, I forgot to ask, is this still what I want? Honestly, I have no idea. So I'm taking a break, moving back to JB, and figuring out from there. I grew up in Kulai. It's a town 35 kilometers north of JB. Very Malaysian, very local, great food. A place you grow up wanting to live. Interestingly, I grew up watching Singapore TV and news. I wonder that plays a part. In my early 20s, I got a job offer in Singapore. I started out at a corporate architecture firm, worked there for a few years, and I realized it's not for me. So I slowly transitioned into freelance interior design, which I love. But it also meant that I don't have to be in Singapore full time anymore. I just didn't have the time to sit down and think through it. After being a PR here, I kept waiting for the moment to feel settled and grounded. Like one day it will all just click and life will pan out. 10 years in, that feeling never arrived. At some point, I stopped waiting for it. I still remember when I first came to Singapore. It's quite an adjustment for me. I mean the living arrangement part, your personal space. Renting a space here is quite tricky. If you've been through it, you'll get what I mean. There is basically guideline for everything you do in the house. When to turn on and off your aircon, when to do your laundry, or how long you should stay in your room. I just couldn't do it anymore. At this point, you might wonder, what's the trigger? Actually, there's nothing dramatic. There's just like small things every day that reminds you, this is not your home. You're just a guest paying rent. Looking back at my life here, I think I adapted a lot. But choosing and adapting are two different things. Career break is always on my mind. I always wondered, are there a different life beyond just making money? So when these three things are aligned, I pull the trigger. Saving buffers, portable skill set, and a place just across the border that might give me what I've been looking for. There are a few key reasons that led me to this decision. JB is changing and it's tempting. It's funny how I'm looking forward to JB weekend trip as I grow older. Maybe it's the food or the laid-back vibes, I'm not sure. There's also RTS Link by the end of this year. JB City is going through a major shift. It'll be interesting to see it from the inside, not to read about it on the phone. Next, I want to slow down a little bit. I've been running at Singapore pace for the past 10 years. Living here, you can see everyone is sort of following an invisible script. Deep down, I know that script is not for me. Family is another factor. For the past 10 years, I have been a visitor to my own family, and I'm quite guilty about it. I'm tired of planning around holidays just to see them. I hope I can be closer to them. If you're Malaysian in Singapore, you probably know how this feels like. And the most practical reason, money. I'm taking a career break, and that changes my financials in the near term. Theoretically, you can stretch your money 3 times by living in Malaysia. I want to find out whether that's true. And I also need to be in Singapore 1 or 2 days per week, meeting vendors, catching up with clients, so it makes sense to me. Am I sure about this? Honestly, no. Some days, it felt like the most obvious choice. Other days, I will ask myself, did I just decide to leave Singapore and move somewhere with worse public transport? Yes, that's what I did. When I tell people around me about this, I almost can see their inner thought. They don't know whether you are brave or you have totally lost it. But I'm biased towards action. Never try, never know. As I grow older, I feel like the window for a career break is getting narrower. So it felt like a right time. If you're Malaysian who's been in Singapore for years and thinking about going back to, this is for you. If you're Singaporean who's curious about JB but wants the real version, not the tourist version, this is for you too. Next week, I'm crossing the causeway, first time as a JB resident. Right now I'm finalizing my rental apartment there and recording down the real cost of living. If you had thought about this, moving back, taking a break, what's the thing that's still stopping you? Tell me in the comments. I'm curious to know. But I'll tell you when I get there.